in time.
Yeah, the alien. You mentioned the alien agenda. The agenda, as far as I know, is from Lucifer, Lucifer and his hierarchy, and its agenda to destroy mankind and the earth. It's an agenda to make not God's kingdom on earth, but the physical kingdom. Christians right now are still looking for, just like in the days of Jesus, they want that physical kingdom to come. Well, I'm telling you that right now Satan is making his kingdom come physically on this earth, and he's trying to bring both dimensions together, the supernatural and the physical, so that he can have both at the same time and operate, he and his group. And they do this through hybrids. We'll get into that like maybe the next show, that of where they can have one foot in this dimension and the other. They have both, and he wants to have it's his agenda.
Right.
And as for the Greys, I've left out even a part. We probably don't have time for that. And
I see. Well, we still have a whole half hour, so please.
Well, I could mention a part of this might make sense to some people.
Okay.
That just what is their agenda? Some of that stuff will be covered also with my friend Todd, Taken by the Greys.
Okay.
He knows quite a bit himself, and I'm not going to mention what he knows, but we'll be coming together on more of this later. But from my own personal experience, the Greys showed me, and there was military involved. This was, 15 or 20 years ago, I guess. They were upset because I was considering a divorce. I was going to get divorced, and they were upset because they had planned. What they said, they had picked certain people on the earth with the help of the military, but they also had done their own choosing, people that they were going to take off of the earth. There weren't going to be that many. Now, this is not a mass invasion. These were a few that they considered that it's like an honor. They wanted me to believe it was an honor that they had me, not just me, but my little family chosen. And they showed me they had other families chosen. They had scientists chosen. They would take randomly certain people they had already picked out. And when the time came, and some of them had already been transported off, or they'd already had taken trips with the Greys, but they were just showing me there's going to be a time where they were going to take my family along with a selected other group of people. And they told me that they were going to take us to their planet. There were like several places they would take us, but they said they would take me to their planet, and they told me we would live a life of utopia. So is that true? I don't know, but that's what they told me. They said they took me to a place where they said that, okay, this was supposed to be in the near future. Okay, so what is the military doing involved in this? First of all, the military can't trust the Greys. The Greys can't be controlled, and the military knows that. And I think sometimes, I don't doubt that they check my site trying to find out what I might know, because they know the Greys can't control the Greys. So I think they're afraid. They're definitely afraid of the Greys. But if the Greys wanted to take us over, they would have done it by now. So, why did I have a lot of unanswered questions myself, and I'm sure everybody else does. So all I can do is just tell you what I've experienced. But they did take me to a place that they said it was like it could have been like what people call a mothership, but they told me it was like a station, like a space station. It was not too far off orbiting the Earth. It was quite large, and there I did see other types of beings that were not human. I also saw they had a type of robot that they used on this particular. Yeah, this was very interesting. The closest thing I can see to that I've seen anything like that. I used to draw pictures of these things and tell people about them. The few people I talked to about this, and it sounded pretty interesting to them, but it still sounded crazy like the other stuff. What can I do? But until when the movie, Avatar came out.
Okay.
Those robots that they have in Avatar that are manned, have humans in them, operating robots, that's the shape of the robots I saw, and that the Greys were using. But they were biological, what do you call a machine, and what do you call that term? It's a machine and biological entity together. They actually had an intelligence.
Really?
Not very. It would
well,
be more
they.
like
I mean, they're calling it the singularity. That, and I know that this term, some people that listen may be familiar with. What they're calling the singularity is when they can fully merge the biological organism with the mechanical electronic, the machine. The full merger of the biological with the machine is what they are calling the singularity. Which, if you check certain people's opinion on this thing, is supposed to happen in 2045. According to people like Ray Kurzweil and others. So that is something that I have heard that definitely sounds like that. But you're saying they already have it.
I think there's much more of that even here where there's humans that are like that. But that's my speculation, just going on what I've seen and what I know is possible with, I mean, look at the stuff I'm talking about. That was back in early 1960s. Who ever heard about even computers then, and then much less computers, but I mean even telepathic stuff. I mean, I knew about cloning. Nobody talked about that stuff, but now, you know, it's like no big deal. Everybody has computers pretty much, and cloning, most people know that exists, but back then nobody's heard of that stuff. They didn't even think about, nobody even conceived in their mind that there'd be such thing as computers. I mean, I was told when I was about 4 there would be, best they could describe it to me. So as for like those, they were part machine, and they did have a personality and a slight intelligence. That the machines that they had in the I don't know, they call them androids or something. That they had them on that station, but basically they just took me there to show me that that was going to be a place that people would be taken first, and then they would be taken to the other places next, but they were going to be taken off of planet Earth in the near future, and they didn't tell me why. It's just they had chosen us and they were going to do that.
So this is such an interesting part of the planet, and this is something that I have, now you're not the first person to say something like this, where you know that has come forward and said, yes, this is what they told me. And you know, I can't help but wonder, I mean, if they succeeded in taking certain individuals from this planet, you know, and every year, I mean, the number of missing people is extraordinary, and a lot of them are being put in just simple sex trafficking and so forth, but you know, I don't know where all of them are going. And the thing is, I mean, how could you get the gospel of Jesus Christ, where my mind goes, to somebody that's off planet? I mean, and I know that seems like, wow, whoa, that's where you take this data? Well, yeah, I mean, I want to see as many people saved as possible. But I just can't help but think of the implications of how much more the devil could meddle with people if they weren't even within the atmosphere or appointed sphere of Earth. You know, it was God who put us here. So, you know, it's just so much here, Carolyn, to explore.